Hello, it's Gerald 2.0, and today I am chatting with...
Robin Nesbitt, Tech Services Director here at CML.
Okay. And I've asked Robin to take some time and talk about our digital collection, Overdrive, what this means to the library, and I know that I've hit you with a whole lot of stuff. And, but you've been thinking about digital information, digital content for a long time.
Oh yeah, I have. Overdrive is new, I think, right now because everybody's excited about e-readers and iPads hit everybody's consciousness and Kindle and all that. But Overdrive's been around for a while. I mean, we've had the product since 2005.
Okay.
And actually, most of the content tends to be audio materials. People tend to be listeners. It's now turning into the reader world where people are getting excited. But it's not anything super new for libraries. Overdrive's been around for a while.
And so you think the interest in it for libraries particularly is because the devices have gotten more affordable.
Yes. You know, Malcolm Gladwell wrote that article or book called Tipping Point. I think we've hit a tipping point with e-readers. The projection's, 10 million by the end of this year. Wow. You get that much content, that much hardware, or I should say hardware out there, and now once you have hardware in people's hands, they start to look for content. And there are people who don't want to buy their content. Next logical place, let's come to the library.
Right.
So,
and that's a great service that we can provide.
Right.
It really does change the landscape of how we operate because we don't have a physical book.
Exactly. And I think that people are uncomfortable because books are going away. And it's like, well, books aren't really going away, but it's important for us as library staff to pay attention to this, to understand how to use it, how to explain to our customers. Your libraries have always been good at being Sherpas, kind of guiding our customers through the landscape. And this is no different. It just happens to be, all right, we're talking about digital books, digital content, that kind of thing.
I like that word Sherpa because that really does describe what we've done all the time, whether it be print.
Yep.
Gosh, imagine that. We did print, then we did some of the dial-up stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, electronic resources has been around forever. I mean, we've had subscriptions to premium resources, and people just take that for granted, our staff, I think, and yet that's really digital content, you know. It's just starting to ramp up more and more, and I just think that library staff, this is not just CML, this is the whole industry. We have to pay attention. We have to continue to be relevant and be a place to help people find good reading.
Right. And that takes some time to get used to.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I'm an early adapter. I have a Kindle. I like e-content. I've used the Overdrive product. I understand for some people this is nerve-wracking.
Yes.
I think it's like anything. It's sort of like when we did Learn and Play. I think a lot of people, once you started doing those 23 things, you're like, hey, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
You hear about it and you think, oh, it's some horrible technological mountain you have to climb, and really you just start playing around with the stuff and you start using it.
Right. And you're right. We are still doing the same thing that we've always done. We're just using different tools to help us do it.
Exactly.
And we have to get used to those tools.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And that's no different, over the course of however many formats we've had in libraries from the dawn of time.
Right.
You know, we've mastered DVDs and audiobooks, and this is just another in the long scheme of things.
And you mentioned DVDs, and before that we had VHS,
right.
And we had Beta, and we had then we had movies. We had 16mm movies.
Yep, exactly. So, we just keep adapting to whatever new format. And I think that's what's great. Libraries say, all right, bring it on. We'll figure it out, so.
Right. Now, I'm going to be talking to Heidi a little bit later, and she's going to be sharing some information about how we're going to be selecting materials.
Right.
And so that's not really a shift for the organization. We've been doing that, but we're just going to be putting more resources to it because of the demand.
That's exactly right. We'll be ramping that up. We've placed, just to give some hardcore numbers, for the last 4 or 5 years, we've budgeted about $40,000 for our part of Overdrive. And people need to remember we're part of a consortium. There's 14 libraries total. We're one of the 14.
Okay.
This year, we've ramped up that digital books budget from $40,000 to about $350,000. So you can see that my intent is, all right, we need to put more money into this format. But lest people get too excited, we have a lot of more money in materials dollars, and I want to remind people we have almost $4 million going into print book. So that's why I say digital books are important, e-readers are important, but the print book is not dead and is not going away anytime soon. It's just that we have to be playing in this field, we have to pay attention, we have to provide some of that content.
Right.
So that's some of the hard numbers behind what's going to be happening next year.
Well, that's helpful. It's good to keep in mind, and I think that's great. So.
Yeah.
Any last minute things you want to offer to the staff as we think about, as we move forward in 2011,
Yeah.
digital collections?
I think the best thing for people to do is just kind of pay attention to what's going on out there in the world. When you're in Best Buy, walk over and look at the readers. If you
true.
need suggestions I follow a couple of good sites that really keep up in the publishing world with ebooks and things like that. I'm happy to share that information.
If you send that to me, I'll put it on the link to this
Okay,
post.
I'll
so
do
people
that.
can have
I'll do
it.
that. And I think that's just it. Be curious and pay attention to what's going on. Our public certainly is, and so we need to be as well informed as our public. And this is, this is part of our job, keeping up on professional
Right.
knowledge.
And we certainly don't have to be the expert. We have to be good at finding the
Right,
information.
right, exactly.
So we're not asking anybody to memorize
No,
anything.
no, I don't. I'm always constantly looking things up, and every time I see things about DRM or EPUB, I reread it because it just keeps solidifying what those mean in my mind. It's not just letters that I'm flashing around.
All right.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.